as far as the business of boxing?
The best thing is a fighter needs to take almost everything.
You paid all that money and had the biggest stage in boxing on Netflix, and that is really the best they could do?
He knew that he could not beat Bud Crawford, which is why they basically paid him $100 million.
Canelo recently opened up on Joe Rogan's podcast about his fight with Crawford. He admitted he didn't give his full effort that night. Instead, he held back, fought at a slower pace, and stayed flat-footed, which made Crawford appear stronger than he really was. Canelo also revealed that money and business played a role in how the fight went, even admitting he was paid to ease up and not fight with his usual intensity.
Well, how does that work? Because it's not pay-per-view. Do they still...
Netflix putting up the money.
So they don't get no back end then?
No, there is no back end. There's ticket sales.
Yeah, because pay-per-view, the back end is the most.
There's no pay-per-view.
I guess if you give me $50 million up front, I don't really care about a back end.
Canelo's admission confirmed what many in boxing had already suspected right after the fight. Fans and experts quickly noticed his performance seemed off. He barely used his jab, normally one of his best weapons, didn't throw combinations, and never pushed Crawford with his usual pressure. Instead, he relied on single punches, stood still for long stretches, and showed little urgency as the rounds slipped away. The stats backed it up too, with some of the lowest punch counts of his career. At first, most thought age or decline was to blame, but his confession changed the entire picture.
He don't have the punching power, but he has the skills that's necessary.
Crawford.
Yeah.
So you were very impressed with his performance?
Well, yeah. The point of the matter is, I knew if it came down to if somebody got knocked out, I thought Crawford would probably get knocked out.
Yeah.
But I know,
Oscar de la Hoya was among the first to raise doubts. Just hours after the fight, he posted online, "What was that? I know Canelo can be slow, but not that slow. I know he can look flat, but not that weak. Did he even train, or was he paid to lose?" For de la Hoya, who promoted Canelo for years, the performance looked nothing like the fighter he knew. He'd seen Canelo sharp and active in training camps, with strong output and precision. What happened against Crawford was the complete opposite. To him, it wasn't just about age catching up, it didn't add up.
When he got hit by Crawford and he took that deep breath, it's frustrating. Don't get me wrong. Canelo facing the right opponent that's going to stay in front of him, that's going to fight, that's going to make it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. So I'm not saying Canelo's shot or done. No, it's far from.
Veteran fighter Gabe Rosado also chimed in, saying Canelo looked flat and predictable. He noted there was no jab, no combinations, just single punches with heavy, cement-like feet. To Rosado, it was the kind of showing you'd expect from someone long past their prime, not from a current champion still holding belts. His take lines up with what Canelo has since admitted. Against opponents like Golovkin, Canelo had been sharp, doubling the jab, firing quick counters, and keeping steady pressure. But against Crawford, Rosado pointed out, none of that was there.
Watching Bud catch those shots off his glove.
He looked amazing.
So amazing.
Yeah, he looked good.
Yeah. He'd go to a body and he'd catch that and come up with an uppercut. You know, just all those things that seem...
He looked great.
Yeah, I've never seen anybody do that to ever.
No one has. Yeah, he's the best.
Canelo. Ever.
Yeah, he's the best.
And I think he would do that to Canelo on his best day. And Canelo said it. He goes, I couldn't figure him out.
No.
Which is...
Claressa Shields offered a different take, saying Canelo's body was simply breaking down. In her view, he couldn't move, couldn't throw combinations, and his legs were gone, a sign of a long career finally catching up to him. At the time, that explanation seemed to make sense, but rival David Benavidez saw it another way. He has long accused Canelo of avoiding real challenges, choosing opponents where he held the advantage, and steering clear of the riskiest fights. After the Crawford bout, Benavidez doubled down, saying this was more proof that Canelo was no longer interested in taking on true danger.
Any advice for them for his boxing business?
Because, you know, the fighters always get the less money. And some of the fighters, they need to take the money, the guarantee money, right? Because they don't make a lot of money in the fights, right? But they are as a fighter.
According to Benavidez and many others, Canelo was mainly chasing the payday. While some fans were shocked, Benavidez wasn't. He said this is nothing new and predicted Canelo will keep doing the same. Oscar de la Hoya also weighed in, telling Fight Hype that the loss had more to do with style than decline. He pushed back against claims that Canelo is finished, but admitted the future depends on smart matchmaking. Don't get me wrong, de la Hoya said. If you put Canelo in with the right opponent, someone who stands in front of him, who wants a fight, who makes it a brawl, Canelo knocks him out. I'm not saying he's done. Far from it. But it's all about matchmaking, about who you put in front of him, and ultimately about squeezing those last dollars from the fans.
You see, Canelo is a strong fighter, and every punch he throws comes with power, right? That breaks down the body. Physically, his body is breaking down. Plus, he just had a kid. Canelo wants to go enjoy his life. He wants to keep his wits, keep his mind together, stay sharp, and go enjoy a little bit of that money that he just made. But he could not pass the torch to somebody that didn't respect the game. Canelo's at the top of the list. But Terence
De La Hoya believes Canelo can still compete at the highest level, but only against opponents whose styles play into his strengths. Eddie Hearn, however, sees things differently. Speaking with Sports Illustrated, he highlighted the appeal of a Crawford rematch, both commercially and in terms of legacy. For Hearn, the big question is whether Canelo can silence retirement talk. Fans want to see if Alvarez makes the right adjustments, or if Crawford pushes him closer to the exit, he explained. Hearn added that Canelo has shown before he can adapt his style and believes he could do it again. With the right changes, Hearn argued, Canelo could give Crawford real problems in a second fight.
Oh, Mac, you've been training Crawford for years. Is he retired or is he going to keep fighting?
He just got to take a break.
Is Terence Crawford retired or is he going to keep fighting?
Oh, he's going to keep fighting.
Is he going to keep fighting?
Yeah.
You're the man. Be man. Hey, congratulations. Enjoy the win.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In their first fight, Canelo actually started strong. He controlled the early rounds with sharp counters that kept Crawford cautious. But as the fight went on, the momentum shifted. From rounds 9 through 12, Crawford took over, landing the cleaner shots and pushing Alvarez onto the defensive. For many observers, that late surge decided the outcome. Eddie Hearn believes that with a stronger game plan in the later rounds, Canelo could flip the result if the two meet again.
We already know. We knew Crawford is a great fighter, and I did what I supposed to do, right? I tried for every way, and I trained really hard, and he deserved all the credit. No, I try.
Chris Eubank Jr. also supports the idea of a rematch, calling it a massive fight and insisting Canelo still has the tools to turn things around. He believes Alvarez's power and experience remain unmatched if he applies them the right way. His comments echoed the view shared by many fighters. Canelo still has dangerous weapons, but he must prove he's willing to adapt. Trainer Robert Garcia backed that same idea. Speaking to Fight Hype, he said the key is hunger. If he comes back with the hunger he needs, he can beat Crawford, Garcia explained. He believes Alvarez must avoid the same strategic mistakes as the first fight and instead press his power advantage from start to finish. Without letting up late, Garcia's perspective reflects a wider theme across boxing. Canelo still has the skills, but whether he can fully unleash them with the right mindset will define his next chapter.
I would love to see the rematch. I think in the rematch, if he comes back with the hunger that he needs, he could beat Crawford. Because Crawford, is very talented, but I think Canelo could beat him. Canelo's strong, man. Canelo's strong. Canelo could take a good punch. So I think he could just go and don't respect his punch and throw punches even though you're gonna get hit. But don't.
For Crawford, the win over Alvarez, planned or not, has opened new opportunities. The big question now is who he'll face next. Some analysts believe he may steer clear of the most dangerous challengers. Fighters like David Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol, Diego Pacheco, and Bektemir Melikhaziv all bring serious size and power, the kind that could offset Crawford's slick skills. Taking them on would be high risk with no guaranteed reward. Instead, many expect Crawford to target opponents with strong name value and big paydays, but less physical threat. Names like Jermall Charlo or Hamza Shiraz have been mentioned as more likely options.
A potential rematch, as a Canelo fan, I don't really want to see that. I don't think there will be much difference. I don't think Canelo can bring anything to the table that's going to surprise Crawford. he's a different fighter now. If this was 10 years ago, yes, I think the fight could have gone a different way. But there's no point in even thinking that, because Canelo's a different fighter now. They fought today. They fought when Crawford is older as well. So I can't be trying to say, well, Canelo's not in his